Admiral Stephen Harrison stood before the full Galactic Confederation Council, trying not to show his nervousness. After 3 months of tests, interviews, and research, the fate of Earth and galactic society would be decided today. The Council is ready to announce its decision regarding humanity and Earth, said High Counselor Vex. The chamber was packed with representatives from over 50 species. The human delegation sat together, waiting. Dr. Carla Matthews, the team's psychologist, touched Stephen's arm reassuringly. "Whatever happens, we've done our best," she whispered. High Counselor Vex raised all 4 hands for silence. After careful consideration, the Confederation has reclassified Earth as a crucible world, the only one of its kind known to exist. We acknowledge that humans evolved in conditions that would destroy most species, not just physically but psychologically. The counselor paused, looking directly at the human delegation. "We have decided to welcome humanity into the Galactic Confederation, with all rights and responsibilities that entails." A wave of relief passed through the human group. Ambassador Zex Terra stepped forward with a data crystal. "This contains the formal agreement. Your ability to settle worlds considered uninhabitable by other species makes you valuable pioneers. Many planets previously deemed too harsh for colonization may be perfect for humans." Stephen accepted the crystal. The negotiations had been intense, but the final agreement was better than they had hoped for. Humanity would have access to Confederation technology and knowledge, while the unique human ability to thrive in extreme conditions would open new frontiers. "On behalf of Earth, we accept membership in the Confederation," Stephen said formally. "We look forward to working together across the stars." As the ceremony concluded, Dr. Carla Matthews moved forward with her own proposal, a cultural exchange program to help aliens understand human resilience, while helping humans temper their intensity in alien company. "Many species still find humans intimidating," she explained. "This program will build bridges of understanding between our different biologies and psychologies." The Council approved her plan. Over the next few weeks, the first alien visitors were cautiously introduced to Earth. They arrived in specially designed environmental suits, nervously stepping onto a planet that their entire evolution had not prepared them for. Professor Jason Blackwell, a cultural anthropologist, led a group of 12 alien observers to a public park in Vancouver. It was a mild spring day with light rain. Children played on swings and slides, dogs chased balls, and joggers ran along paths. "This weather, this is considered pleasant?" asked a Valoran scientist, watching raindrops hit her protective shield with concern. "Very pleasant," Jason smiled. "Look at the children. They're enjoying themselves." The aliens watched in stunned silence as children splashed in puddles, climbed trees, and ran with seemingly reckless abandon. "They show no fear," whispered a Mesoth observer. "In conditions we find terrifying, they play." A young girl fell while running, scraped her knee, cried briefly, then got up and continued playing. The aliens were astonished. "Minor physical damage, quick recovery, no lasting trauma," noted another observer. "Incredible resilience from such a young age." Jason nodded. "Humans are adapted to Earth from birth. What seems harsh to you feels like home to us. That's the true mystery of Earth. Not just that we survived such conditions, but that we find joy in them." He gestured to the scene around them. People enjoying the park despite the rain, the variable temperature, the constant pull of Earth's gravity. "We don't thrive despite Earth's challenges," Jason explained. "In many ways, we thrive because of them. Our art, our music, our stories, they all come from pushing against limitations, from overcoming obstacles." As they watched a group of children launch a kite into the wind, the aliens began to understand. The true gift of the Nightmare Realm was not just the physical strength it gave its inhabitants, but their ability to find purpose, beauty, and meaning in difficulty. "Perhaps," said Ambassador Zex Terra quietly, "this is why your kind was forged in such a crucible, not just to survive the harshest conditions, but to bring something new to the galaxy. the ability to find joy in the face of adversity. As the rain fell gently around them, humans and aliens together watched the kites soar higher, dancing in the winds that once might have been called hostile, but now seemed simply like another canvas for human creativity. The galaxy's greatest mystery had been solved, and humanity's greatest adventure was just beginning. Dr. Grace Phillips had spent her career studying ancient human civilizations. She never imagined she would be asked to help solve the mystery of Earth itself. But here she was, working alongside geologist Aaron Fletcher and a team of alien scientists deep within the Confederation Research Center. "You need to see this," Ambassador Zex Terra said, leading them into a new chamber filled with holographic displays. The room was dark except for the glow of star maps and planetary diagrams. In the center was a detailed three-dimensional model of Earth, showing its layers from core to atmosphere. "We've been analyzing your planet's composition," the ambassador said, "and we have a theory that might explain everything." Aaron moved closer to the Earth model. "What kind of theory?" "A controversial one." Ambassador Zex Terra hesitated. "We believe Earth is not natural. It may be engineered." Grace blinked in surprise. "Engineered? By whom?" "A precursor civilization," said a crystalline alien named Vril, who led the Confederation's Historical Research Division. "A species that existed billions of years ago, before any current civilization in the galaxy." Aaron laughed, then stopped when he saw they were serious. "You think someone built Earth?" "Facts." "Difficult to believe," Vril finished, "but the evidence is compelling." The displays changed to show comparisons between Earth and thousands of other planets. The aliens pointed out abnormalities in Earth's magnetic field, the unusual stability of its moon, the perfect balance of elements in its crust, and the remarkable resilience of its biosphere. "No other planet we've studied can sustain so many apocalyptic events and still maintain complex life," Vril explained. "It defies natural planetary formation." Grace shook her head. "But why would anyone create such a dangerous world?" "As a test." Ambassador Zex Terra's voice was soft. "A crucible to forge something specific." The implications hit Grace like a physical blow. "You think Earth was designed to create us, humans?" "Not humans specifically," Vril corrected, "but a species with certain traits, extreme adaptability, problem-solving abilities, psychological resilience, the ability to thrive in conditions that would break most life forms." Aaron turned to the Earth model, studying it with new eyes. "So Earth isn't a nightmare realm by accident. It was designed that way on purpose, to push evolution in specific directions," added Vril. "Your planet is the perfect evolutionary pressure cooker. Just enough challenge to force adaptation, but not so much that life is extinguished completely." Grace's mind raced through human history. The countless disasters survived, the remarkable ability of humans to adapt to virtually any environment on the planet. "If this is true," she said slowly, "then every hardship Earth threw at us was part of the design," finished Ambassador Zex Terra. "Each challenge shaped your species, generation after generation, creating beings that could eventually reach the stars." Over the next several days, Grace and Aaron worked with the alien scientists, analyzing Earth's geological records against the Confederation's database of over 10,000 worlds. The evidence was compelling. Earth's combination of features, its size, composition, orbit, magnetic field, and even its unusually large moon, created conditions that were simultaneously harsh enough to drive rapid evolution, but stable enough to allow complex life to develop. "It's like a carefully calibrated machine," Aaron said, reviewing the latest findings. "Push too hard, all life dies. Not hard enough, and you get stagnation. Earth hits the perfect balance." Grace looked at the holographic Earth spinning slowly before them. "So the greatest mystery isn't that Earth is a nightmare realm. It's why someone would build such a place to begin with." Ambassador Zex Terra's large eyes fixed on her. That is the question that now concerns the Confederation most. If Earth was engineered as we believe, then humans are the product of that grand experiment. The question remains, what purpose were you meant to serve? The room fell silent as they all contemplated the spinning blue planet, not just a world, but perhaps the greatest artifact ever created, designed billions of years ago to forge a species unlike any other in the galaxy. Whatever the answer, Grace said quietly, I think we've earned the right to decide our own purpose. Ryan Shepard had never expected to become an alien test subject. As the communications officer for the human delegation, he usually worked behind the scenes. But now he and engineer Laura Dixon stood in the center of a large chamber surrounded by Confederation technology. Are you sure this is safe? Laura whispered to him. They said it's just simulations, Ryan replied, trying to sound more confident than he felt. The chamber was part of the Confederation's testing facilities. After the revelations about Earth's unique evolutionary history, the aliens wanted to test human adaptability directly. High Counselor Vex and a team of scientists watched from behind a clear barrier. We will create environmental simulations based on standard worlds, explained a Mesoth scientist named Krill. We wish to observe human reactions. The chamber hummed, and suddenly Ryan and Laura found themselves standing on what appeared to be a beach. The gravity felt much lighter than Earth's, and the pink-tinged ocean lapped gently at purple sand. This is a garden world environment, Krill's voice explained. Most species find this ideal. Ryan bounced slightly on his feet. The gravity is maybe a third of Earth's. Correct, said Krill. Is it uncomfortable? Laura laughed, jumping higher than she ever could on Earth. It's like being in a bounce house. This is fun. The scientists conferred among themselves, clearly surprised by the reaction. The scene changed. Now they stood in a forest of strange, twisted trees. The air felt thick and heavy. This is a challenge world, said Krill. Many species find these conditions stressful. Ryan took a deep breath. The air was humid but breathable. It feels like Florida in summer. Not my favorite, but perfectly fine. Laura nodded. I could live here no problem. The simulations continued. Each environment was designed to test different aspects of adaptability. Higher gravity, different atmospheric compositions, extreme temperatures. What the aliens considered challenging, the humans found merely uncomfortable. What the aliens deemed extreme, the humans found difficult but manageable. After 2 hours, the simulations paused. The aliens seemed both troubled and fascinated. You have exceeded our expectations, said High Counselor Vex. Environments that would cause severe stress in most species seem merely inconvenient to humans. Ryan shrugged. We're pretty adaptable. Humans live everywhere on Earth. Deserts, Arctic regions, mountains, jungles. Ambassador Zexterra stepped forward. We would like to try something different. Can you describe the most challenging natural environments on Earth? The places humans find difficult. Ryan and Laura exchanged glances. They described hurricanes with 200-kilometer-per-hour winds, blizzards that dropped meters of snow, deserts where temperatures exceeded 50 degrees Celsius, and oceans with crushing depths and deadly predators. The alien scientists programmed these conditions into the simulator. When the humans confirmed they looked accurate, the aliens invited other Confederation representatives to observe through the barrier. The chamber displayed an Earth hurricane, howling winds, driving rain, trees bending to breaking point. This happens several times a year in some regions, Laura explained. People board up their windows and wait it out. Some humans chase these storms for fun, Ryan added. They're called storm chasers. The alien observers made sounds of alarm. One turned away, unable to watch. Next came an Arctic blizzard, with temperatures far below freezing and snow reducing visibility to nearly nothing. Millions of humans live in regions like this, Ryan said. They build special homes, wear layers of clothing, and continue their daily lives. Each Earth scenario caused increasing distress among the alien observers. What humans considered normal weather events were, to them, apocalyptic conditions. Finally, High Counselor Vex raised a hand to stop the simulations. "We understand now," the counselor said. "Your normal is our nightmare. Your difficult is our impossible." Laura stepped forward. "But that's just it. Earth taught us that impossible is just a starting point. Humans look at impossible situations and think, how do we make this work?" Ambassador Zextera's voice held new respect. "That mindset explains much about your species. You don't just endure nightmares. You overcome them, again and again." As Ryan and Laura left the testing chamber, they noticed the alien representatives looking at them differently, with caution, yes, but also with something new. Something that looked very much like awe. Security Chief Nicole Bennett had never felt comfortable in space. She preferred solid ground and clear skies. But now she stood in the most advanced alien laboratory in the sector, watching Dr. Kyle Winters work with Confederation scientists. "What exactly are we looking for?" she asked, eyeing the strange equipment around them. Kyle didn't look up from the glowing screen. "Evidence. The Council has a new theory about Earth. They're calling it the Nightmare Realm Hypothesis." 3 days earlier, the diplomatic mission had taken an unexpected turn. After the stories shared at the banquet, the Confederation scientists had requested access to Earth's geological and biological history. Now they were comparing it to their own extensive database of planetary evolution. Commander Eric Bishop, the military liaison, joined them in the lab. His face was serious. "Any progress?" he asked. A Velaran scientist named Tezra turned toward them. "We have made a disturbing discovery about your world." The alien gestured to a large display. It showed a timeline of Earth's history marked with colored bands. "These are extinction events," Tezra explained. "Periods when most life on your planet died." Nicole frowned. "The dinosaur extinction. The ice ages. Those and many more," Kyle said quietly. "Earth has had at least 5 mass extinction events. Each one wiped out most species alive at the time." Commander Bishop studied the display. "That's just evolution, isn't it? Species die out, new ones emerge." "No," said Tezra. "This pattern is unique in our database of over 10,000 worlds. Most planets with such volatility reset to primitive life forms after each catastrophe. Complex life has to start over." The alien's voice was filled with something like awe. "But Earth, life on Earth keeps coming back more complex, more adaptable. It defies normal evolutionary patterns." Nicole felt a chill. "What does this mean?" Kyle turned to her, his eyes bright with excitement. "It means humans evolved not just to survive predators, but to survive an entire planet that repeatedly tries to kill everything on it. We're the products of a world that has faced climate shifts, geological upheaval, asteroid impacts, and extreme radiation events." Commander Bishop whistled softly. "We're not just survivors. We're survivors of apocalypses, multiple apocalypses." The lab door opened, and a small delegation of high-ranking aliens entered. Among them was High Counselor Vex. "We have reviewed your findings," Vex said to the scientists, "and we are prepared to accept the Nightmare Realm Hypothesis." Nicole looked at Kyle. "Which means what exactly?" Kyle cleared his throat. "It means they now believe Earth isn't just a harsh world. It's a planetary crucible, a place that has repeatedly destroyed and remade its own biosphere. And we're what emerged from that process." High Counselor Vex stepped forward. "In the known galaxy, we have documented many harsh worlds and death worlds, but they remain stable in their harshness. Earth is different. It changes its methods of destruction. It forces adaptation on a scale we've never seen. Your species," added another alien counselor, "should not exist. The psychological trauma of evolving in such conditions should have limited your development. Yet you have thrived." Nicole thought about human history, the wars, the disasters, the constant struggle for survival that had somehow produced art, science, and exploration. "Maybe that's why we keep pushing boundaries," she said slowly. Because our entire evolutionary history taught us that staying still means extinction. Commander Bishop nodded. Humans don't just adapt to survive. We innovate to thrive. High Counselor Vex made a gesture that the translators interpreted as deep respect. The Confederation now sees humans in a new light. You are not merely dangerous because of your physical capabilities. You are evolutionary miracles. Creatures forged in a planetary crucible unlike any other known world. As the aliens continued discussing the implications, Nicole gazed at the display showing Earth's violent history. For the first time, she saw her home planet as the aliens did, not just a blue marble in space, but a mysterious forge that had created humanity through repeated trials by fire, ice, and chaos. It was terrifying, and somehow it made her proud. The diplomatic banquet was meant to ease tensions between humans and aliens. Instead, Maya Campbell watched with growing concern as several alien representatives moved away whenever humans laughed or showed strong emotions. Maya was the communication specialist for the human delegation. She had spent years studying language patterns, and now her skills were being tested with alien body language. "They're afraid of us," she whispered to Peter Rodriguez, the cultural attaché. "Not just cautious, actually afraid." Peter nodded. "I noticed. They flinch when we laugh. They move away if we gesture too much." Maya adjusted her translator device and moved closer to a group of Velerans. Their conversation came through as a mix of clicks and musical tones, but her device converted it to English. Neural storm patterns when they express emotions. Chemical surges that would cause seizures in our kind. How do they not damage themselves? Maya's eyes widened. She returned to Peter and the other humans. "I think I understand part of the problem," she said. "Our emotions. When humans feel strong emotions, our brains release chemicals that would be harmful to their species. They can detect these changes somehow." Vice Admiral Reeves frowned. "So every time we laugh or get excited, they sense it as something like an electrical storm," Maya finished. "It frightens them." Peter thought for a moment. Maybe we can use this. Show them we're not dangerous by explaining normal human experiences. He approached the center of the room and gently requested attention. The alien representatives turned to him, some moving slightly back. "Honored representatives, we understand there has been some confusion about humans. With your permission, I'd like to share some stories about life on Earth." The aliens agreed, and Peter gathered the human delegation. They sat in a circle, with aliens cautiously forming a wider circle around them. "On Earth," Peter began, "many humans enjoy swimming in our oceans." He described the feel of salt water, the waves, the fish that swam nearby. The aliens listened with what seemed like horror. "You willingly enter high-pressure environments with predators?" asked a small green alien with large eyes. "We find it relaxing," Sam Daniels said. "I took my daughter swimming when she was just 4 years old." The aliens made sounds that the translators interpreted as gasps. Dr. Lydia Morrison shared next. She talked about hiking mountains, the thin air, the cold temperatures, the steep climbs. "The oxygen levels would be fatal to most species," said a jellyfish-like alien, "and the temperature variations could cause system shock." "It's challenging," Lydia admitted, "but the views make it worthwhile." One by one, the humans shared ordinary Earth experiences, weathering thunderstorms, giving birth, breaking bones that later healed, getting sick and recovering, even just living through the changing seasons. With each story, Maya watched the aliens' reactions. What humans considered normal daily life sounded like survival horror to them. "I think I understand now," said Ambassador Zexterra after the humans finished. "Your world does not just have harsh conditions. Your species finds meaning in facing those conditions." Admiral Reeves nodded. "Challenge is part of human life. We don't just survive Earth, we love it." A crystalline alien moved forward. "There is still something we do not understand. Most species from harsh environments develop simple social structures, Survival consumes their energy. But humans create art, music, literature. You explore and innovate despite living in conditions that would traumatize most sentient beings. Sam laughed, causing several aliens to move back. Sorry. It's just, maybe we create art and explore because of our harsh world, not despite it. Maya felt an important connection forming. Our stories, our art, our exploration, they all come from pushing boundaries, from facing challenges. It's how we make sense of our world. The aliens conferred among themselves. Finally, Ambassador Zexterra approached. We have decided to continue our cultural exchange. The more we learn about humans, the more we realize Earth is not just a physical anomaly. Your psychological adaptation to your nightmare realm is perhaps the greater mystery. As the banquet ended, Maya felt cautiously hopeful. The aliens still feared humans, but now they were also curious. It was a start. Peter smiled at her. Who would have thought our greatest diplomatic asset would be horror stories about everyday life? Maya laughed, watching several nearby aliens twitch at the sound. There was still much work to do. 1 month after the meeting at Outpost Vega, Vice Admiral Natalie Reeves stood before the Confederation Council. The room was packed with aliens from at least 20 different species. The news had spread quickly through their ranks, and now Earth faced a serious problem. Quarantine is the only safe option, argued a bulky alien with rocky skin. We cannot risk exposure to Earth creatures or their contamination of other worlds. Natalie stepped forward. At 52, she had spent her life in the space program, and now found herself defending humanity's right to join the stars. Members of the Council, I understand your concerns, she said. But Earth has much to offer the Confederation. We request the chance to demonstrate this. High Counselor Vex looked thoughtful. What do you propose, Admiral Reeves? A human delegation. Let us show you who we really are. After heated debate, the Council agreed. 2 weeks later, Natalie led a carefully selected team to the Confederation's main diplomatic station. Everyone ready? She asked as they prepared to enter the grand meeting hall. Dr. Eli Harmon, Earth's premier xenopsychologist, nodded, ready to understand why they fear us so much. Sam Daniels grinned. The former marine and wilderness survival expert had been a surprising addition to the team, but Natalie had insisted on his inclusion. Let's show them what humans are made of, Sam said. They entered the hall where representatives from 30 alien species waited. Many visibly recoiled as the humans approached. Thank you for this opportunity, Natalie said to the assembly. We've come to address your concerns about Earth and humanity. Science Director Krill moved forward. We have prepared a demonstration. These are the conditions on an average Earth day. A hologram appeared, showing a simple Earth park with trees, grass, and a light breeze. The aliens murmured nervously. The gravity alone would crush many of us, said a small, insect-like alien. And those plants release oxygen at toxic levels. Sam laughed, then stopped when he saw the alien's reaction. Sorry. It's just, this is where our children play. It's completely safe. Safe. A jellyfish-like creature pulsed with what seemed to be distress. Your world has extreme temperature variations, constant radiation from your sun, thousands of pathogens in the air, and untamed wildlife. Dr. Harmon stepped forward. Perhaps we could better understand your perspective. May I conduct some tests? With permission granted, Dr. Harmon spent 3 days working with volunteer aliens. He returned to the human quarters looking stunned. Their physiologies are so different from ours, he told the team. What we consider mild, they experience as extreme. A light rain would feel like acid to some species. A cool breeze would cause hypothermia in others. Natalie frowned. How do we convince them we're not dangerous if our very existence terrifies them? I have an idea, Sam said. Let me talk about my childhood. The next day, Sam stood before the council and told simple stories of growing up in rural Colorado. He described falling from a tree and breaking his arm, which healed completely. He talked about swimming in cold lakes, hiking in snowstorms, and once surviving 3 days lost in the woods as a teenager. The aliens listened in horrified silence. "You experienced multiple near-death events as a juvenile?" asked a Valoran representative. "We call them adventures," Sam said with a shrug. "Most humans have similar stories. And you consume substances that would be lethal to most species," added another alien, reviewing data on human diet. "Caffeine, capsaicin, ethanol, all toxins. We drink them for pleasure," Natalie explained, realizing how this sounded to alien ears. A quiet alien with crystalline features spoke for the first time. "In our history, we have encountered species from harsh worlds. They were always simple creatures focused only on survival. They could not create art or music. They did not explore or innovate." The aliens' crystals glowed softly. Yet humans do all these things while living in conditions that would drive most species mad from stress. It defies evolutionary logic. Dr. Harmon nodded. "Perhaps that's exactly why we developed as we did. Our world pushed us to become both physically resilient and psychologically complex." The room fell silent as the council members considered this. Finally, High Counselor Vex spoke. "We need to understand more. The human delegation will stay as our guests while we continue our evaluation." As they left the chamber, Natalie felt the weight of humanity's future on her shoulders. They needed to prove humans weren't just survivors of a nightmare world. They were worthy partners among the stars. 2 weeks after the rescue, Captain John Mercer stood beside Dr. Lydia Morrison as their shuttle docked with the massive ring-shaped station. Ambassador Zex Terra had recovered enough to send a message to the Galactic Confederation, and now they were invited to their nearest outpost. The station hung in space like a silver hoop, easily 10 times the size of Earth's largest space station. "Remember," John said quietly, "we represent all of humanity now." Lydia nodded, her stomach tight with nerves. The airlock hissed open. 3 aliens waited for them. 2 looked like Zex Terra, tall, 6-limbed Velerans with shimmering skin. The third was shorter, with green scales and 4 arms. "Welcome to Outpost Vega," said one of the Velerans through a translator device. "I am Counselor Nexira. You have already met Ambassador Zex Terra. And this is Science Director Krill of the Mesoth species." Ambassador Zex Terra looked much healthier than when they had found him. He bowed slightly to the humans. "Thank you for saving me," the ambassador said. "The council is eager to speak with you." They followed the aliens down a curved hallway. Dr. Alistair Wright, the mission's cynoanthropologist, whispered excitedly to Lydia. "This is incredible. A multi-species government. Their technology must be centuries ahead of ours." They entered a large room where 7 more aliens of different species sat around a crescent-shaped table. Screens floated in the air, showing images of Earth from space. "Please be seated," said a tall, thin alien with purple skin and 4 eyes. "I am High Counselor Vex of the Science Council. We have much to discuss about your world." The humans took their seats. John spoke first. "We're honored to meet you all. We had no idea there was a galactic community." "We have observed your planet for centuries," said Vex, "but Earth has been difficult to classify." Dr. Wright leaned forward. "You mentioned a classification system for planets. Could you explain it?" Science Director Krill tapped a control, and a hologram appeared in the center of the room. It showed different planets arranged in a circle. "All worlds where life can exist fall somewhere on this scale," Krill explained. His voice was deeper than the Velerans. "Paradise worlds are perfect, stable climate, low gravity, no predators, abundant food." The hologram shifted to show a lush planet with blue oceans and green fields. "Garden worlds are pleasant but have mild challenges, seasons, some predators, occasional storms." The images continued changing as Krill explained each category. "Challenge worlds have stronger gravity, more extreme weather, and dangerous life forms. Harsh worlds push the limits of survival with toxic elements, extreme temperatures, or dangerous radiation. The hologram showed increasingly hostile environments. Deathworlds are the extreme: high gravity, numerous predators, deadly weather, and constant threats. Few species evolve on Deathworlds, and those that do are physically strong but psychologically simple. Krill paused, looking uncomfortable. And then, there is Earth. The hologram changed to show their home planet. Stats appeared beside it: gravity readings, atmospheric composition, weather patterns, tectonic activity, biodiversity. The aliens all shifted in their seats, looking disturbed. High Counselor Vex spoke softly. Your world exceeds Deathworld parameters in multiple categories. Your gravity is crushing by most standards. Your atmospheric oxygen levels would be toxic to many species. Your planet's crust is fractured and unstable. Your star bathes you in radiation. Your biodiversity of pathogens alone would overwhelm most immune systems. Ambassador Zexterra added, 2 of my crew died simply trying to adapt to Earth conditions during our brief observation. Their environmental suits failed for just minutes. Lydia felt a chill. We had no idea our world was so dangerous. The most puzzling aspect, said Krill, is you, humans. Species from Deathworlds typically evolve physical resilience, but remain psychologically simple. Survival consumes all their energy. But humans, continued Vex, have somehow developed both physical resilience and complex psychology. You create art, music, philosophy, and technology while living in conditions that would drive most species to madness. John frowned. So Earth is unique. Not just unique, said Ambassador Zexterra. Impossible. A nightmare realm that defies our understanding of habitability. And you evolved there, making you the galaxy's greatest mystery. The room fell silent as the humans looked at each other, suddenly seeing their ordinary homeworld through alien eyes, as a crucible that should not exist and could not be survived. Yet they had done more than survive it. They had called it home. Dr. Lydia Morrison floated in the observation deck of the research vessel, Horizon's Edge, her eyes fixed on the stars beyond the reinforced glass. The ship had been her home for 3 years now. As the lead xenobiologist, she was used to studying strange life forms from a distance. Today was different. Dr. Morrison to the bridge. Urgent. Captain Mercer's voice crackled over the intercom. Lydia pushed away from the window and glided through the zero-gravity section, her heart beating faster. Urgent calls were rare out here, beyond the orbit of Pluto. The bridge hummed with activity when she arrived. Screens displayed data streams she couldn't understand, and the crew moved with unusual speed. We picked up a signal, said John Mercer, his weathered face tight with concern. Not one of ours. Lydia's mouth went dry. First contact. Maybe second, said Communications Officer Maya Campbell. Her fingers danced across her console. It's a distress call, but not in any human language. A sound filled the bridge. A series of clicks, whistles, and low hums that made the hair on Lydia's arms stand up. We managed a partial translation, Maya said. Something about Earth coordinates and an emergency. They know where Earth is? Lydia asked. Apparently. John scratched his beard. And they're in trouble because of it. The Horizon's Edge changed course, engines pushing them toward a set of coordinates just beyond Neptune's orbit. It took them 16 hours to reach the location. Visual contact, announced the pilot, Ryan Shepard. On the main screen, a ship appeared. It was unlike anything human engineers had built, smooth and oval-shaped, like a giant seed made of some dark blue material. It drifted silently, with visible damage to one side. No response to hails, Maya reported. Prepare the shuttle, John ordered. Dr. Morrison, you're with me. First contact protocol is in effect. The shuttle journey was tense. Lydia checked her environmental suit for the 5th time. The alien ship grew larger in the viewport. There's an opening, Ryan said from the pilot's seat. Looks like a docking port of some kind. They managed to connect to the alien ship. Scans showed breathable atmosphere inside, but John insisted they keep their helmets on. Movement ahead, Security Chief Nicole Bennett said, her hand on her sidearm. The corridor opened into a circular room filled with strange equipment. On the floor lay a being that was clearly not human. It was tall and slender, with 6 limbs and silvery blue skin that seemed to shimmer. 2 large eyes dominated a face that had no visible nose, just breathing slits along its neck. "It's alive," Lydia said, scanning the alien with her medical device. "But injured." The alien's eyes snapped open, deep purple with no pupils. It recoiled at the sight of the humans, then made a choking sound. "It's trying to communicate," Lydia said. A device on the alien's wrist glowed. A mechanical voice emerged from it. "Humans, Earth dwellers, you must not approach further." The alien struggled to sit up. "I am Ambassador Zexterra of the Velaran species. My scout ship was damaged." "We're here to help," John said. "What happened to your crew?" "Dead. All dead." The alien's body shuddered. "We came to verify the impossible. The Galactic Confederation has monitored your world from afar. Earth does not fit any classification we know." "Classification?" Lydia asked. "Worlds are rated by habitability. Paradise worlds, garden worlds, challenge worlds, harsh worlds, and death worlds." The alien's breathing became labored. "Death worlds are the extreme, planets so dangerous that life barely survives there." "And Earth?" John asked. "Earth is worse, beyond classification. The conditions you not only survive but thrive in, they are impossible." The alien's voice grew weaker. "We came to observe, to understand. What we found, the truth is worse than our fears." "What truth?" Lydia leaned forward. "Earth is not a death world. It is a nightmare realm." Sexterra's large eyes fixed on the humans. "And you, what kind of creatures evolve in such a place? The Confederation must know." The alien's translator device began to beep rapidly. "Its vital signs are dropping," Lydia said. "We need to get it to our medical bay." As they carried the alien ambassador to their shuttle, Lydia's mind raced. Earth, a nightmare realm. Humans, an impossible species. For the first time, she saw her homeworld through alien eyes and understood why the stars might fear what came from such a crucible.